Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the subcommittee. Today I'm prepared to present House Bill 2376. This bill requires the Virginia. Did you have something?
No, I'm saying yes, please.
Right,
Welcome.
yes.
We're looking forward to hearing your bill. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chair. So this bill will require the Virginia Economic Development Partnership to develop a discretionary incentive funds for independent content creators and creative entrepreneurs in Virginia. Why are we asking to do this? In 2020, the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis report that the arts and cultural production accounts for almost $16.2 billion in the Commonwealth and 2.9% of our GSP, and contributes almost 110,000 jobs. This is what we're talking about: products, services, output of generated artistic and creative processes such as that are valued by trade, valued by generating revenue, and intellectual property rights. So art, crafts, music industry, intangible things such as content to design and music. So what we have here is an opportunity to invest in Virginia's creative economy to promote some sort of economic inclusion and recognize artists, entrepreneurs, and arts organizations as contributors to our business community. This bill would strengthen that equity by allocating state resources for the creative economy, particularly for the creative workforce. To note that in the writing of this, we made sure that these independent content creators and creative entrepreneurs have to be located in Virginia with the plan to create in Virginia. They have to be operating a business in Virginia with a valid Virginia business license. We're talking about independent record labels, management labels, their talents located in Virginia with a valid Virginia business license. And also independent businesses that provide educational resources and platforms to creative entrepreneurs, including creative accelerators and incubators. This is what we call a FUBU investment, for us, by us. Mr. Chair and members of the committee, I ask that you give our creative entrepreneurs in the Commonwealth proof that their important work is an economic driver in the Commonwealth by passing this bill on to appropriations.
All right. Thank you. Does any of the members have a question for the patron?
Mr. Chair, I do.
Delegate Runyon.
So, thank you for your presentation, and I do appreciate that. I'm curious to know what type of activities would not be eligible for this
So
grant.
what I can tell you is what types of activities would be eligible, if that makes any sense, where to put it. Off-top production, post-production, prototype creation, product creation, festivals and music opportunities, and there's several more. I'm just trying to rattle them off of my head. We modeled this after some other creative economies that have used grants like this to boost their creative economy, because we get about $7 back for every $1 we invest. We get about $7 back for when we invest in our creative economy.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chair, a question. You said that this is modeled after other states?
Not necessarily states, but we looked at cities, we looked at states, we looked at what Nashville does, we looked at Atlanta, we looked at New York, we looked at California, we looked at Austin, we looked at all these different creative spaces that have been able to use their creative economy as an economic engine, and just saw some best practices to sort of put this together, and also reached out to the Virginia Economic Development Partnership to ask them about their discretionary funds and what are the best uses, and what it would look like for this to really be used as a business investment, vice, a grant to do artwork on a side of a building.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I have two more questions, not to belabor this, but
Delegate Runyon.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So why should we separate these businesses from the other thousands of small businesses that have creative? For instance, I have a dear friend that is a taxidermist, and he has won national and international awards for his work, but I didn't see that as being inclusive in this type of grant.
So there were a myriad of things why we should include it, because these are, when we talk about discretionary, excuse me, Mr. Chair, I apologize, Mr. Chair, I would say to the delegate, when we talk about discretionary incentives, we do this for farmers, we do this for tech companies, and when we outline what a creative entrepreneur is, I think that's something that would have to be fine. If taxidermy, I'm not sure if that is in the same vein as creative entrepreneurship. But I would imagine that if it was, and I won't claim to know that it is, that it would be under this fund. It's not limited to the list that I said, and I wish I had the list before.
No, that's fine.
It would be
Mr.
up to the
Chair.
Virginia Department of Economic, I think the Virginia Economic Development Partnership to really make this whole, as they would be the distributors of said grant.
Hey, Delegate Runyon.
My last question is, where does the money come from?
And so we're asking it to come from our general fund, so
General
it would have to go to
funds. Yeah, thank you.
appropriations, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, is there any other testimony from the audience, or? All right, well, the chair will entertain a motion. We have a motion to report and refer.
Mr. Chairman, I have
We have a substitute motion is
one question, Mr. Chairman.
Delegate Moorfield.
Apologize, there's already a motion.
If they would rescind your motion, if he can ask this question.
Delegate Moorfield.
Great. Do you have a budget amendment?
I do have a budget amendment for this bill.
Thank you.
Very good. All right,
Mr. Chair, to report,
refer.
Substitute motion.
We have a motion to report and refer.
Substitute motion.
We have a substitute motion, which is,
Gently lay
we have a motion to gently lay on the table, and we have a second on that?
I'll second.
A motion has been seconded. Members will cast their vote. Okay. That is the motion to lay on tables, 4-2.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.